Hi there, everybody. Thank you very much for having us. Most people I know, actually. So this is why I'm saying it's not a pitch. According to the line, this is not a love song. The elder ones remember. I'm explaining you a little bit and describing you the vision of the world's oldest fintech bank. This is what I was announced yesterday in New York at a opening event, actually, for the Singaporean Fintech Festival. We are the world's oldest fintech bank. I didn't know that. So what is Fidor Bank doing in comparison to what we heard now before? We are a bank. This means we are a regulated entity. We are not a product. We are not a product specialist like the three presentations up front. We are a customer-centric approach. By the way, we are a proud partner of Ivoca, I have to mention. Great job, guys. And we are a 100% digital banking model. This means digital means we have to run on a technological platform. And this platform we call Fidor Operating System. The Fidor Operating System we had to develop on our own because the market was not giving us any kind of solution to this. Actually, once we started thinking about this banking model back in 2009. 2009, by the way, guys, there was no phrase like fintech around. So Fidor Operating System, how can I describe that? It's easy to integrate and life-changing. This is why a lot of banks are talking to me. It's open via APIs. We are already a bank operating on APIs like the upcoming PSD2 is demanding it from any bank. We are compliant on this already today. It is integrating via the APIs. For instance, partners like Ivoca or other fintech companies who want to offer financial services to their customers, but not really willing to invest into a banking stack on the one side or investing into a banking license on the other side. It allows accounts to be a marketplace. Our account holders have several options for crowd finance, several options for peer-to-peer lending, several options for savings and so on. So it's for the first time, it's a rich content account actually that you as a customer can leverage on in our environment. Customer integration via community, we really listen a lot to Web 2.0 trends. This means we want to know what's happening there with the customers. We want to know what the customer opinion is. I come to this in a second. Data analytics and high-speed banking. Guys, I have to tell you, it's good that you deliver now an SME loan in a day. Our SME customers, and we have 20,000 of them, can click on the button and they get an overdraft next second. This is possible because our customers are living in a pre-scored status, and once you click the button, you get it or you don't. Easy to say. Low-cost banking. We are entering the stage of digital banking. This means, hey, banks out there, you have a huge cost on IT. You have a huge cost of operation. You have a huge cost on bricks and mortar, whatsoever you think is necessary for your concepts. We have low-cost banking. KPIs are coming. Just one, 50 euros per user per year. 50 euros per full KYC customer per year IT cost. That's all. Compare that to yours. I think you're way above the 300. And USP banking. We have a lot of discussions what really fintech, what does it mean? What is the difference of fintech to what we had before? Why is a bank not saying I'm fintech as well because I'm running on tech, I'm using my IBM stack, hi Carlton, and I'm tech company as well. Well, fintech for the first time understands that technology can create a unique selling proposition to the customer and not only cost cutting in your existing operation, if so. So, Fidor's bank's claim is banking with friends. We integrate and we have a look to our customer satisfaction. 2% of Fidor customers think there's no difference to another bank, which means 98% of our customers say there is not only one point why this bank is different. You know, you live in a commodity environment. Our customers do not see it like that. We have a Net Promoter Score of currently above 37. People can join community before becoming a customer. Did you ever try this to do in a branch concept? Can you join this bank actually not being a customer? They kick you out. So this is one of the reasons why a branch concept never can be compared to a digital concept. 30% of our customers did say in the most recent survey, I would not leave this bank even if I would get a better rate at the next bank. You are in a commodity business. I tried to get out of this. Banking with friends is the claim to that. Digital banking means better KPI banking. Just one KPI out of the 9 you see in the background. Cost of onboarding a new customer at Fidor, including KYC and communication, 15 euros. 1-5. Talk to your marketing department about your figures on that. Fidor means value. We started that in the midst of the crisis. We received our banking license in the midst of the crisis, May 2009. And by the way, I do not know how long the midst is durating, actually. I still think we are in it. Fidor banking means integrative. It means open. This is why I said API banking. We are technically open as well, culturally open, which means that's the community. We are efficient, KPI driven. We are customer centric. So this means we look at the customer. If a customer wants lending, he gets it. Saving, he gets it. Precious metal, he gets it. FX, he gets it, and so on. Digital banking, as I said, is low-cost banking. And this is in particular interesting for, let me say, emerging markets, like in the Asian region. This enables financial inclusion on a low-cost level. This enables low-ticket banking being profitable. You have to think about your infrastructure, not only your apps. My most favorite sentence on that, if you only think about the app, you think lipstick on the pig. That's it. You have to think about the infrastructure. Digital banking also means real-time banking, also means contextual banking. You're walking up along with your mobile, you need a loan now for whatever reason. If you are not servicing via the app then the loan demand straight away, you are not relevant. If you can service it, you can for the first time become again a relevant partner to your customer. Today, your customer finds you on comparison websites. This is not a place to be relevant. It means integration, integrating in different layers. We integrate our outside developers in our API developer club. We integrate our B2B partners in an innovators club. So decision makers all over the world will participate in future innovation. And we integrate our end customers in the community in which they can co-design and manage this bank. Traction. 750 million in assets and business volume, 130,000 customers, of which 20,000 are SMEs, 350,000 people in our community, bank acting in Europe, tech business acting globally. Thank you very much.
Questions from the jury?
Yeah, many questions.
Many questions.
Hi, I have a question about business model, because I saw on one of your slides there was a number about net interest margin,
yes,
which is 6%, which
yes,
is twice as high as traditional bank.
Yes.
How do you make money?
Well, net interest margin is one part of making money, isn't it? So that means the bank's model is on the one side you take deposits, on the other side you give loans. I think the bankers agree on that. Actually, there's nothing to reinvent in FinTech on this part, out of my perspective. Now, the secret of it is to take money as cheap as possible and to lend it with a, let me say, reasonable risk appetite on the other side. So we have on the one side a cost of interest, which means that's the deposit of roughly above all durations 1.5 to 1.6%. And we have then plus 6 a gross margin on the other side, which is about the 8, I would say. There we have as a bank an asset and liability management functionality, which allows us on the one side to deliver Fidor proprietary loans, like our microloan, which is 100 euros, split second delivery on a Sunday. Or we are collaborating with partners like Iboca and others, in which we acquire the receivables which we, for instance, get from Iboca.
Matthias, nice pitch. So you spent, I would say, 50% talking about your customers and then another 50% talking about other banks, yep, and the extent to which they could benefit from your technology. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges or advantages of really having two different customer groups and how internally you guys balance those?
The challenge is big. And just assuming where the question is targeting to. So the challenge is big, and to be honest, so maybe giving a little bit of the background, we started developing this tech piece on our own. By the way, we never would rely on a standard piece of technology, because I think in a certain sense you have to have this in your hands. As a strategic core backbone of what we are doing, I would not give that away. In 2012, for the first time, we got pitched by an outside partner asking us whether they can work on this technology. And we've been really surprised by that development, because we never thought about that. Which ended up in the situation that we carved out the tech team into a clearly dedicated tech company in 2013, and exactly facing now the problem in the dilemma that a bank on the one side and a tech company on the other side is maybe having a kind of dilemma, as mentioned, because the bank has to look for its equity and so on, and the tech company has to do research and development and so forth. So which created the situation that we decided last year to give the tech company a better and a stronger standalone future, and a clearly dedicated management team, and additionally clearly dedicated shareholder structure then. Because a bank investor sometimes does not understand what a tech side does, and a tech investor sometimes is totally scared to death whenever it comes to a loan book, for instance. So yes, that's why I'm saying yes, it's a challenge. It's addressed. It's in execution.
Matthias, can you say something about the segments of your customers? Is that more attractive segment than the average? In other words, are you taking the best customers from banks, or are you taking an underserved segment from banks?
So once we started the bank, we did not do any kind of social demographic segmentation. We just said we are online, and we do the segmentation via channel, which means online customers only. I received the question once from a journalist asking, what do you do to convince an offline customer to come to you? And I just said back, listen, what did McDonald's tell a vegetarian to eat a burger? Nothing. So we speak only to online people. If that was too quick or not English, I can explain it in the break. Sophie, don't be embarrassed. So we did segmentation by behavior, which means digital only, as well. By the way, in the SME as well, we are really focusing on the e-commerce guys. This is why we added acquiring services to this and so on. After 5 years, which makes us somehow the granddad of FinTech, after 5 years, I can say customers are mainly male, for whatever reason. Ladies, I experienced that at DAB Bank already. 70% of DAB Bank's customers have been male. It's approximately the same ratio at Fidor Bank. Maybe it's a personal problem. So it's totally it's totally distributed all over Germany, and there's no focus. I would say in the UK we are more like maybe in the south currently, but in Germany it's really all over the place. We have one figure maybe that is paying into your question is the customer who are unemployed is at a way lower rate than German average. That I can say. If you can see that 120,000 something customers roughly have 450 million in deposits, I could also say that they are having more cash in a type of bank with us. 42%, by the way, of those customers say we are the primary banking relation in the meantime. So yes, in the beginning now as a kind of elite concept, currently yes, but with the partnerships we have and with the growth we will see, I think this will dilute. Which is not negative, it's the way it is. Yeah, we will become a mass market concept. I think by end of 2020 we will have 2 million customers for very good reasons, and then we will be very much in the middle of German society.
So just following up on that, right, and also a bit on what Michael was saying, if you fast forward now to 2030, what is Fidor? Is it a technology provider? Is it a bank, a digital bank? Is it both? Is it something else? What is it in 2030?
It's definitely not something else. That I can exclude. First of all, that's the easiest part of the question. I would say that the course we decided to go, splitting up and saying not splitting up sounds hard, but in having a standalone future on the bank and the tech, I can say the bank will be an European-wide acting digital bank having definitely more than 1 million customers. And the tech company will be with its partners a global distribution and setting a global standard of digital infrastructure for banking. That's it.
Great. Are there any questions from the audience? Sir?
If there's another financial crisis, what lessons have you learned from the last one?
So first of all, I didn't cause the last one. So the question was...
That's what they all say.
No, but I can prove it, I can prove it. So the question was, what happens if there's another financial crisis? What are my lessons out of that? So as I said, first of all, we didn't cause the last one. I think out of the last financial crisis, we had the chance to emerge, actually. One American guy once called us, we are a so-called post-disaster concept, which he already saw in the 1930s. If you have a look to the foundation years of some banks, they all happen to be in 32, 33. Those have been new banks after the 29 disaster. We have, of course, a close look to the meta developments in the market, like interest rate development. Brexit to us is a huge development given the fact that we are exposed to British pounds and so on. I think maybe taking a quote out of an award we got, surprisingly to us as well, we've been declared to be the most sustainable bank of Germany. Why? Because of our customer embracing and customer integrating model. And I think surviving a crisis, it's always a good recipe to upfront embrace the customer and not after the crisis try to get the customer solving your problems. So I think having a lot of, I don't know the English word for this, Demut upfront is something, what is it? Modesty. Modesty, yeah, perfect. Modesty and servicing will and not to be a kind of high-flying investment type of banking guy, not living the life of your customer, that preserves you a lot, Did I say I hate bankers? No, I didn't. But
we're going to take one last question.
Two, come on, there's a bonus track here before lunch now.
Do you see Fidor taking away some of the market share from the Landesbank, the few ones that are still left in Germany?
No. The question is if we would take away the market share of the Landesbank. No, we do not do this for sympathy reasons. So, just kidding.
Humble modesty, right?
I'm such an arrogant asshole, I know. But no, I wouldn't know the business model of a Landesbank, which means I would not know what to take away, to be honest. We see that the source of our customers is according to the market size of normal banks, like saving and loans, Raiffeisen, and the commercial banks. This is the source of our business, of customers. The SMEs that's hard to say. We have a huge amount of SMEs that are in foundation. Of course, we are suffering account opening processes with SMEs as other banks because we have to fulfill regulation, for sure, that's clear. I would not know if those SMEs would be big enough to walk up to a Landesbank, for instance. So I would say no. Besides joking aside, I would say no.
All right, we can take the last question.
I was wondering, since you're the oldest bank there, how do you scale your business while remaining the same speed of development? I think
good point. Yeah, very good point. 50% of my gray hair. Yeah, very good point, because it gives me the chance to speak about a very important, in all briefiness, I know, which is hardly impossible. In all briefiness, about one very important point which makes the big difference. It's culture, corporate culture. Why is that so important? I think what you have to create, and maybe my background is hospitality business. What you have to create is this kind of attitude, first of all. I think that's the first very important ingredient. You are willing to service your customer, and maybe in a better and in a new way than the ones who did it before. First of all, it's attitude. And second, then it comes to coding, which means, we have maybe, or for sure, we have less coders than anybody here in the room. But the question to me then is, why are you coding something that is boring your people? I don't know. So it's the attitude thing. It's the living the life of your customer attitude. It's the servicing attitude. And then as a management, really trying to be always on ground and mirroring your experience or the experience of your partners. Like, I met the Iboca guys last week at the Money 2020 in Copenhagen, and I was really expecting this is not working well, this is not working well, this is not working well. So as but it didn't happen. So as the CEO, I'm really trying to get the feedback personally. I really try to understand what is working well and what is not working well, and then really kick ass. As easy as that, yeah? And if you have a culture in your company that is not allowing in a constructive and friendly and also internally banking with friends, kick-ass attitude.
All right, let's end with that. Kick-ass attitude. Thanks very much.